Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome live on stage the man himself, it's Double Johnson! And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for tuning in. Welcome to Dazzer Transfer Show. Welcome to Scotty B. Herzlich willkommen, Scotty. Thank you very much for tuning in. Guten Abend. Welcome those who have joined. This is Dazzer Transfer Show, episode number 13, the one that a lot of you have all been waiting for. This is the bonus episode. We've obviously completed the normal series as usual. Series 5, episode 12 was obviously last week with no guest. It's fair to... Oh, no, we did have a guest. We had Blue Tube on last week, yes. I'll admit, I'm losing my head already. Today is the bonus episode, and it is the final... It's officially the final episode of this series, which is quite sad to say. I have to admit, this has been probably one of the best Dazzer Transfer Show series I think I've practically ever done. Certainly one of the longest running Dazzer Transfer Show series. Of course, we've gone from how far? We've done 12 shows, and this is the final one. We have a special guest, and I should have told you before this, but there will be music coming on, so you just wait till that stopped and then we'll start there. But this is an hour-long episode. We'll be on till 8 o'clock, and then the klaxon will probably go then, and that will be the end of the series. We're joined by a special guest. It's my good pal from the YouTube channel Matchday with Max. It is the man himself. It's Max Hayes. 2 seconds. There we go. Right, let me stick this in and then we'll hear you a bit better. Right, go ahead, mate. There we go. Right, welcome, mate. Are you all right?
Yes, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Really been looking forward to this for ages. By the way, apologies about messaging you all the time, but I was desperate to get an answer. It's
no worries at all, mate. But I just get so many messages in, and I'll try my best to respond to all of them. But I thought I'd obviously prioritise you guys. Wanted to come on today. I've had to do about 3 podcasts and live shows this week, so it's been pretty hectic.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when I'm on school holiday, summer holiday, I can chat to everyone and organise things. And I know it's great to be on because I really enjoyed the transfer series, and I've listened many a times before. I think it's pretty good. So yeah, it's thank you very much for the invite.
Yes, no problem. It's an absolute pleasure. Before we get on to the transfers, let's talk about Nottingham Forest. Obviously, your beloved team. You obviously played against Fleetwood. I saw the interview with you and Ben, which of course Ben did. Good points made by, I think, both of you, actually, yes. Good lad, both good lads, actually. And, of course, he did one Darwin tour, quality. But let's talk about Nottingham Forest. You've got a new manager who is French, I believe. And so far, you've played, obviously, Fleetwood in the Cup, beat them only by, I think, 1-0. And then, of course, Saturday, drew against Leeds. And the first game of the season was a 2-1 defeat to West Brom, if I'm not much mistaken. How do you think the season's gone so far for Forest?
It's gone mixed. I mean, there was this stat that Forest hadn't lost on their opening 2 games, or the last time Forest hadn't won their opening 2 games was back in 1983 when we were in the Premier League. So, I mean, we always seem to start off really well every season and then kind of tail off towards the end. So, at the end of the day, I think we've got to look at it, put things into perspective. I think the Leeds performance was good. It could have been better, but it probably should have been better. But then again, you've got to think that you're playing a Leeds side that are favourites for promotion this year and only just missed out last year. And they've got a class manager, and they've had stability for a while now, Leeds, with Bielsa and different players and everything like that. So you've got to remember, Forest got new players, got Alfred Semedo, Thiago Silva, Sammy Amioba, who I have to say a special mention to him. especially if any Forest fans are listening. He was excellent. He was good in the Fleetwood game, but he was outstanding when he came on in the Leeds game. He really did change the game. There's videos all over the shop of him skilling players. So to get a point away at Leeds, it was unlucky to do it, to lose to West Brom. But again, I think Forest have had the hardest opening games in the league, probably. I might be wrong, I might be mistaken, but I think we've had two very difficult games. To win 1-0 against Fleetwood, it probably should have been more, but it's the first round of the Cup's always not going to be great. I mean, didn't Borough lose on penalties?
Knew you'd mention that. Fair enough.
Well, no, just,
yeah, we did. We did, Crew. Oh,
yes.
I'll admit that was one of our worst performances. One of the worst performances.
Yeah, because it's the first round of the Cup always, I think, causes the most upsets. So to get through to the next round, and then obviously we've got a very interesting tie in Derby, which I'm away for, so I'm going to miss that. But nevertheless, decent win and on to the next round.
That sucks, that, doesn't it? You got a big derby coming up, and it happens to be the exact same time that you're going all day. I saw Jack Pugsy's Pugsy, I think that's his name.
Yes.
Jack Pugsy's reaction, and oh my life, he was in shock. So apparently he was currently editing his video, and then he just saw that they got Derby. I'm thinking, whoo, that'll be a bit of a enthralling encounter. To be honest, Sammy Abiobi, you obviously just mentioned him. New signing, obviously you spoke to Theo Fogden, of course, if anyone doesn't know who I'm on about. You probably should do by now. I mean, he's a Bolton Wanderers vlogger. He's also obviously been on all day in Moscow, been to watch Senate and stuff and entertaining vlogs. Obviously, you know, I'll get my teeth in the right place. Max did an interview with Theo at the Valley, home of Charlton Athletic, and that was in the EFL on Quest. What was that, release day or something like that?
It was like it was like a launch event, so they had fans from different clubs there.
I no doubt you'll be back in their studio about Christmas time. You'll be back in their studio
hopefully, I think. But Colin's invited loads of other people on, which is good because so many football content creators deserve to be on those shows and get different opportunities, and not just me. Because there's plenty of people out there that are pretty much better than me and much better than what I do. So I think it's brilliant that I thought the EFL on question was brilliant. I thought it was great. The launch event was brilliant. It was just great. It was good to see so many other vloggers, reporters, celebrities from other clubs, really.
True. Please do leave a like, by the way, if you haven't already done so, guys. And if you want to subscribe to Max, his link is now in the description. Of course, I decided to do it late. I decided to put the link in the description and the name and the title after I'd announced it, because it would ruin the sense of anticipation, wouldn't it, if I just put it in the start? So, want to keep it as secret as we could. But, Sammy Amiobi, as was just saying, signed, of course, from Bolton Wanderers. He didn't do too bad at Bolton. Do you think he'll be a successor at Forest?
Yes, definitely. I think the trouble was, everyone when we signed him was like, why have we signed that rubbish? Why have we signed him? He's come from a Bolton team that got relegated last season. But you've got to remember, there's no disrespect to Bolton at all. The quality of players probably at Bolton isn't the best level. Now Forest have got some quality players, and thanks to Sabri and past players from Karanka and O'Neill. So with players around him and players supporting Sammy Amiobi, there's no reason why he can't be a key player for Forest and a key player in Forest campaign if they want to get promotion this season, and hopefully we will. So I think he's looked good, and I think he's one of those players that you bring on as a substitute, or I would like to see him starting after a class performance against Leeds and Fleetwood. So we'll have to see, but I think he is a really good signing.
Yeah, I also like Sammy Amiobi. I don't think none of us can get our tongues round the name. The one thing I like about Sammy Amiobi is his next power player. ex-Bow player. He had a not a very long spell at Bow, but he did score a goal, and that was in a pretty big game. I think my comment gave you, hey, what on earth's going on here? All right, here we go. Yeah, here we go. We've got the East Anglian derby in the comments section as usual between Nick and Scott, since Nick's an Ipswich fan, Scott's a Norwich fan, so we've got the East Anglian derby in the live chat as usual.
Brilliant.
That always happens. Hi, y'all. Have Norwich won a game yet? Well, no, it's only one game into the season. They just got tonked by Liverpool. So, you have to give them a chance. Scott put, no, we haven't won a game because we just started the season, unlike you guys, getting a good telling off from Luton and knocking you out of the cup. So I say we got a good telling off by Crew Alexandra. Don't know how that happened, but we were just poor. Anyways, I think it's enough of the rivalry for the minute. Please do leave a like if you haven't already done so. But let's get on to the business. So, as you can probably see, the paper here is scrumpled because I accidentally got shot of it earlier and had to literally collect it again. So we'll start with, what was the list? Where's the list I sent you? I've still got the list saved because I've still got all the messages saved. Let me find out. Here we go. So we have the list here. First one is Albion Ajeti to West Ham United from the Swiss side FC Basel. I believe they are the Swiss Wizukan Super League champions. Of course, one of the top sides in Switzerland. And Albion Ajeti, I don't know that much about him, to be truthfully honest. The fact he's gone from the Swiss champions to I'd say a respectable team in the Premier League. I mean, they didn't have a great season last season, West Ham. I think the fact that he's gone to West Ham, I think it might be a good decision for him. But does he have what it takes to compete in the Premier League? That question is still yet to be answered. Of course, I don't know if you know much about Albion Ajeti. I mean, I certainly don't.
I've heard of him. I know he played for Switzerland and under 21s, and I think he scored 15 goals last season, and he might have been actually in the Switzerland squad that was in the Nations League against, when England were back in June. So I don't know much about him. I think he signed a 4-year deal. I was doing a bit. In fact, I tell a lie, I was doing some research earlier on just so I wasn't going to have no clue who he was, because to be honest, I didn't really know. It's West Ham's sick signing. I think it's probably a decent move for him. Whether he can do well in the Premier League, like you say, the question's yet to be answered. Yeah. That's the trouble with getting foreign players in abroad and from different countries. Are they going to be able to compete in the Premier League? Some will and some can't. And some might need just general experience in the Premier League and getting used to it. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. But I could see it working for West Ham, especially if he's been with the Switzerland national team and scored 15 goals last season.
He's not actually had the greatest of records. He is a striker, but he's not been played that much for Basel. I think he's gone to West Ham mainly for game time. He's scored 1 goal in the Champions League so far this season. Scored 1 goal in 1 match and got 2 assists in the Swiss Super League. That's his first game in the Swiss Super League, got 1 goal and 2 assists. He's got 1 goal in 2 matches in this season's Champions League, the qualifiers. Last season, got 1 goal in 4 games in the Europa League. So he's not been getting that much game time at Basel. And Basel's obviously his home. It is his home city. So he's moving from his home city to East London. Well, it won't be East London because it's the Olympic Stadium now. Let me think. Is it North East London? Something around that. I don't know where the Olympic Stadium is.
I've been to the Olympic Stadium, not to watch a West Ham game or for a football event or Olympics or whatever. I went for, they have this summer fair there where they have, it was when the Olympics were on, so you could watch the Olympics. And they had all fun fair rides and games. I went there, so I think it's the North East.
I'm thinking
then
it's
again,
the North East.
my knowledge of London isn't good because I don't live there. I mean, my mum used to, so she knows more than me probably. I mean, and I've been more than a couple of times. But no, I don't know. Your coast probably assesses mine's probably northeast.
My geography's no good. And by the way, today's choice of drink is the usual. Yep. That's mainly for Scotty B, who always puts what's today's drink or something like that. I don't know what it is. It's Iron Brew, as usual. The usual classic Iron Brew. He's a Swiss professional striker who's now at West Ham as a striker. His elder brother, Arlind Ajeti, and his twin brother, Adonis, are also footballers. Don't know who they play for. Can I find anything else about him? 4-year deal, you said something about that, didn't you? And he's 22 as well, so I think he's got a lot left in him. And he's young, and he's an upcoming prospect, so I think it's quite a decent signing for West Ham. Just hopefully it pays off for them. Scott's put, I believe the West Ham Stadium is in the east of London. Nick Mills put Stratford for West Ham Central line. I pass it every time I go to Ipswich. Stratford.
I'm pretty sure he would have meant
Stratford. Yeah, I thought so.
I think that's where. Yes, no, it is. That's where the Olympic Stadium was built. Because I can remember it all over the news during the Olympics.
Stratford. Stratford is a district in the east end of London, so it's in the east.
There you go.
Well, that's where. Isn't that where Upton Park is anyway? Because that's in the east, isn't it? Because West Ham thing's always been East London. Scotty B's put Iron Brew. Yes, does. Anyways,
some geography knowledge ahead of my GCSE geography next year, which I'm not looking forward to.
Oh, you're going into year 11, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah.
I'll admit, I thought you were the same age as me.
Did you? Because you're 16 or
17.
You're 16, 17. No, I know a lot of people think I'm
17 last month.
I am.
Well, actually,
yeah, but
1 month tomorrow. Actually, I was 17 on the 16th of July. So that's nearly a month ago. So yeah, 17 now.
I mean, you can probably tell I'm younger than 17 by my voice breaks on my YouTube videos. So it's pretty much of a giveaway there.
Yeah. Well, I could tell you younger when you said you're going into year 11, because I remember you saying you're in year 10. I can't remember when it was one of your Instagram live streams. I remember you saying it. Pah! Scotty B's just got absolutely mugged by Nick Muller in the chat. I think you'll find, Nick, that Scotty's practically the same age as me. And he's put Scotty is in year 4. No, Scotty's 16, 17. I think he's practically the same age as me. But anyway, enough of people's ages and stuff. Let's get into the actual transfer business. And Nick's in nursery. God, here we go. Oh, it's kicking off, isn't it? Okay, next one is a quite interesting one. West Bromwich Albion of the EFL Championship have signed Charlie Austin now, Premier League player. And, of course, he did put that fantastic comment in one of his interviews last season, the best league in the world, and give the referees all the help they can get, because it clearly cost us 2 points today. I remember that one. And then, of course, you got Neil Warnock saying, best league in the world, probably the worst officials. I hope he realised he was going to get fined for doing that, because you always get fined by the FA doing that. So, look, Charlie Austin, obviously from Southampton, and he played well. He's played well at Southampton. He's had a couple of disappointing results, but a lot of them been unlucky. I'll admit I don't like his white hair. That's all I'm going to say. He is 30 though, so he is getting into the later stages of his career. But I mean, does age affect players? I mean, championship-wise, there's a lot of players in championship who are in their 30s, nearly 40s. Bother had Dimi Konstantopoulos, who I think has left the club now, and he's 41. So he's just left the club. Borough legend goalkeeper, should we say. But Charlie Austin's in his 30s. He's now a forward for West Bromwich Albion. I think he'll do well at West Brom. But I don't seem to remember him having that much championship experience. So, I mean, I think it's a drop down for him because you're going from Southampton, who compete in the Premier League against top quality sides and stuff, and then you're going into the championship and competing against teams that are the second best. And yeah, let me have a look. Was there anything? Oh, no, I'm not doing that. And just sorting stuff out. Why am I getting people trying to call me? No. Surely they know that I'm live and I can't talk to them in a minute. It's one thing that doesn't annoy me. Oh, yes, actually, so yes, I'm wrong. He has had championship experience, scoring 58 goals in 113 matches in the Football League Championship for Burnley and Queen's Park Rangers. He made his debut in the Premier League in 2014-15 season, scoring 18 goals for relegated QPR and receiving a call-up for the England national team. He returned to the Premier League in January 2016 when he signed for Southampton, scoring the winning goal. Okay, well, I think we'll stop that there. Scoring the winning goal against Manchester United. Brilliant. He's had championship experience. Do you think this is a good signing for West Bromwich Albion?
Yes, I mean, he's a proven striker, I suppose. He's the name we've all heard of. I'm surprised they got him from Southampton, actually. I'm surprised that Southampton let him go. I think Forest could have done with someone like Charlie Austin. We've obviously got Graben, but we definitely could have done with someone else. A bit of a backup option, a bit of an additional striker. Because I think, obviously, we've got Rafamir as well. And Rafa player, and hopefully with a bit more experience around him and a bit more tactics and coaching from Lamucci, hopefully he'll be able to turn him into a player like Graben. But Graben, I think Graben's issue is he sometimes doesn't get enough balls to him, basically, enough support around him.
Yeah.
Could also, people also say he's a bit lazy. I can see where people come from with that. I thought he was quite lazy with Leeds. But then again, he probably needs a bit more service. He probably needs to get used to with Karanka going and then O'Neill going, and now he's got another new manager. He wants him to play a different style of role. He's more of a poacher. So Graben's normal role is a poacher anyway, so it probably fits into Graben's style. He probably just needs a bit more time to adjust to the start of the season. Of course, he scored against Leeds on Saturday, Graben, but he kind of came off his chest or something. It wasn't the best goal. So I think Austin's a great signing for West Ham. Probably, I'll say great because he's experienced. And I think any championship team would snap Southampton's hand off if they gave them the opportunity to buy Charlie Austin.
That's a fair point. You also mentioned Lewis Graben. I think Lewis Graben was good at times. I mean, you at the Borough watching the Borough game, I think you were. You just didn't do a vlog of it. I think I remember you saying before. You were at the Riverside, weren't you? That game.
No, I wasn't.
I thought you were.
I was away with family that weekend, so I actually didn't go to the Forest Middlesbrough game. No.
Well, that's fair enough then. Well, Graben for me when he played at Riverside Stadium, and of course, obviously it's different with you. Obviously, you're sat in the southeast corner, and I'm sat literally behind the away dugout, which is practically where you sit anyway in the city ground, where you sit practically near there, don't you? So But I think, like, Lewis Grabban, when he was at Riverside, he was only good when he actually got the right service. If the players don't give him the service required, then he's not going to do great. And I felt, he scored the Porteous goal, well, practically a pretty simple goal to make it 2-0. And that just, ruined us totally. And I think you deserve to win the Riverside because you were the better team. But I think Grabban will only be good if he gets the service required, if you know what I mean.
I agree, completely agree. And he's got to have tactics that suit him, and he's got to have players around him to support him at all times. And it's probably the same with Joe Lolly as well. He's had a quiet start to the season.
I have to say, Joe Lolly
have been quick to jump to conclude.
I have to say, Joe Lolly's goal at the Riverside has to be one of the best goals I've seen from Forest. It's unbelievable.
And he's had a bit of a quiet start to the season, and people have been quick to jump to conclusions like, maybe because he wanted to go to Villa, and he's thrown a bit of a tantrum because he wanted to leave Forest. I don't think that's the case. I think Lolly's a class player, and like probably Grabban, he needs a bit more service. And again, it's the start of the season, it's early on, so I won't judge Forest or any of the players till after about the 5th game in a month's time. So we've got to see where it goes. But I'm fully behind Joe Lolly, anybody like that. And I'm fully behind Forest this season as well.
Of course you are. Yeah, well, that's a fair point, very fair point, that. And, I mean, I think, like, if you look at players, obviously Joe Lolly you mentioned, for example, obviously with the Aston Villa stuff, I think players a lot of the times feel unsettled at their clubs when there's rumours about them going to different clubs. I think it just makes them a bit more nervy. And then they don't put in the exactly 100% performances in because they're a bit cautious as to what to do, whether they're going to stay like for Lolly, if he's going to stay at Nottingham Forest, whether he's going to move on to Aston Villa. You feel that sense of, what am I going to do? It's one of those things. Quickly before we get on to the of what you were just about to say, couple of comments coming in here. Rich Bedford, thank you very much for joining. By the way, Rich Bedford is a Leeds fan. So you'll have enjoyed Saturday's game. Thanks for joining the stream. Glenn Matthews, thanks for joining the stream. He's put Chelsea, tries to score Maguire, you shall not pass. He don't say he was absolutely solid as a rock against Chelsea. However, Chelsea were the better team against United, I'll have to admit. Newcastle, another Bobby Robson team, says Nick Muller. Oh, actually, yeah. Norwich against Newcastle. Just hoping there's no Newcastle fans in, but come on, Norwich. Do the Boer fans a favour, mate. But, yeah, I mean, Premier League's back. The Championship's back. Who do you have next?
Birmingham at home on Saturday. 3 o'clock kickoff. Interesting.
That's not going to be a walk in the park, that game. I think Birmingham have come on.
Well, I agree, and I don't think there is an easy game. I don't think there is a walk in the park game in the Championship. Personally, I think it's a very, very tough league, and probably even tougher this year because the amount of teams that wanted to compete to get promotion or to get playoffs or to survive relegation or anything like that. So it's another tough year of the Championship, really. So it won't be an easy game, but I'm confident. I think we're back at the City ground, and with hopefully a full capacity crowd getting behind the team, we'll do well.
Yep. I mean, that's not going to be an easy game for you at all. Birmingham, they've come on a bit. I mean, they've obviously lost Gary Monk, and I think that might have been the same reason why he left Borough. I'm not sure what. I still don't know what the actual official thing was with that, because people saying it's an argument with Gibson argument with the board, and I'm thinking I don't know what's going on, whether he's just been sacked or whether he's just walked out. So I still haven't got a clue what's going on there.
Yeah, and it's the same with Karanka. I think Monk and Karanka are those managers that if they're not getting their own way, maybe not Monk, but if they're not getting their own way and they don't like what's happening, then they'll probably leave for the best, for their intentions and probably the best intentions of the football club and themselves. So nobody ever knows what goes on behind closed doors, although I am looking forward to watch the Class of 92 second series on Sky. I need to start watching that. And Leeds' Take Us Home behind the scenes documentary on Netflix from last season.
I'll be watching that, but I don't know.
It'd be interesting to see what happens with Bielsa and the spine stuff. I really like those documentaries. I even liked the Sunderland one as well. I thought that was really well put together and brilliant.
Yeah. I have to say that. What was I going to say now? Oh, yes.
Come on, Daz. Come on, mate.
No, it happens a few times to me. As I was going to say about Karanka. Karanka left Forest, and I felt sorry because, I mean, he did quite well at Borough in the 3 years or something that he was at Borough. And I felt, you know what, he's gone to Forest and he's doing quite well there. We ended up with the Karanka curse when you came to the Riverside. But you've, as I think Colin, isn't it, the main host of EFL, the Quest one? He's the main host, isn't he?
Yeah.
What he said, I absolutely agree, because with Forest, you're only going to be successful if the team plays well, if the manager gets the tactics right. You've got rid of Karanka. You've brought in Martin O'Neill. Got rid of him. You've brought in this manager who a lot of people don't even know that much about. But Colin said that. I think the thing is, Karanka walked, and people forget that Karanka walked. He had a track record of it at Middlesbrough. I'm not slating Karanka in any way. I thought Karanka did a really good job under circumstances and everything like that. And I'm not slating the owners anyway. I'm getting rid of him. He left. Forest got O'Neill, thought it'd be the right person, and they quickly didn't realise. They quickly realised that he wasn't the right man for Forest. And Evangelos Marinakis did an interview, and Forest wants stability, but he said they want stability with the right manager. And if it takes Forest 3 years to find it and keep sacking managers, but we're going to get in the Premier League somehow, or we're going to be in the Premier League, then okay. And I mean, I think hopefully they've done a bit of a research on Sabri Lamucci, and the Forest work with George Mendes now, so the client of Wolves, so maybe now, because Lamucci's a client of George Mendes, and know that they can trust him and think he'll have some good tactics. So hopefully we found the right man for stability. So I think they wanted to give Karanka time, and Evangelos Marinakis even flew over to England to try and persuade Karanka not to leave. But he wasn't happy with a bit of behind the scenes the owners behind the scenes interfering with the first team and tactics. So at the end of the day, Karanka walked, and you are right. Forest need to give managers time because we won't be successful. But then again, it's got to be with the right person. Yeah, that's true. Scotty B's put, got to love Colin. I had to laugh when you said, come on, Colin McWalton, he's got his phone out. I had to laugh at that. Yes. You said that, and I'm thinking... Oh, dear.
Yeah, because but there's another funny bit of that interview. You probably realised it's cut. We had to cut it out because, I'm not going to say it on camera, but it was pretty funny what he said. But I just couldn't put that out to my subscribers. It's a bit of French.
Right, okay.
Subscribers are young kids, so I couldn't put that out. But maybe it'll be in the outtakes in a few years.
Fair enough. Yeah. What else has come through? TWH United. I nearly said United. TWH Watford Hornet. Jude, thanks so much for joining the stream. Not too much traffic so far on this journey. By the way, for those who don't know, Jude's currently travelling up to Teesside to play for UGFC tomorrow in the pre-season tournament. So safe journey to Jude, by the way. Hope he gets up here fine without any traffic or without ending up getting caught in a thunderstorm like I did on the way back from Cardiff the other week. So that was great. And for those who don't know, I'm doing I'm driving now. So hopefully within the next year or so I'll be able to drive myself to Cardiff. No, I doubt that'll happen. Which Bedford's what we've got Wigan away. It's going to be hard for us, and that's Leeds. I think they'll beat Wigan. Colin from Quest does, yes. Nick Miller's put Peterborough away. We're taking 4,000. That's quite good following actually from Ipswich. I mean, it took a lot to Luton, didn't it? And I mean, we've got Blackburn away. Oh God, help us. That won't be a fun game. Unless it's anything like last season where we should have got beat. We just about won thanks to a Somberlonger. Or was it Fletcher 1-2? Keep getting your comments in the live chat. By the way, for those who don't know, there's a donation link in the description if you want to go and support the channel. I'll say that's completely your decision. You don't have to. It's totally up to you. And if you do, then be greatly appreciated. But as I say, it's completely up to you if you want to do that or not. On to the next one, and since we have put one in the title, I'm getting my words in a twist today. In the title, we might as well talk about the main feature, which is a big one, which of course we just mentioned, Harry Maguire to Manchester United. Now, unfortunately, I was going to mention this last week, and unfortunately, we ran out of time last week to even get onto that one, so we'll mention it this week. So far, one game in the Premier League for Manchester United and his official Manchester United debut at Old Trafford. And he played well. Got Sky Sports Man of the match against Chelsea. Solid as a rock. And I thought he played well. And I think this is a big signing for Manchester United, especially defensively. So it means United fans don't have to see Phil Jones and Chris Smalling as the defensive partnership anymore. And I think if I had to... I mean, we've got Glenn Matthews, who's a United fan in the chat at the minute. If United had to go for the choice of Bailey and Lindelof, Bailey and Maguire, or Maguire and Lindelof, which defensive partnership will you go with? For me, I think the Maguire and Lindelof partnership worked absolutely perfectly on Sunday against Chelsea. Kept them at bay a lot of times. And he was more solid than, of course, Tammy Abraham. The second goal I was surprised at counted because I thought it was a foul on Abraham from Maguire, but the referee thought it was 6 and 2 frees. So that was a surprise. But I think it's a big signing for Manchester United. It's a bit of a big chunk out of the United budget, but it's actually good that the board, the Glaciers, are actually spending money instead of keeping them in their back pockets, which I know a lot of boards have done in the past. No names, but Mike Ashley. And talking of that, I've actually went to Newcastle the other week and spoke to one or two Newcastle fans when I was there. And I did say that Mike Ashley cares more about his Sports Direct mugs than his club. And I'd say most of them agreed with it. So it's fair to say that what I'm saying is not a lie. It's the truth. Maguire to Manchester United, a quality Leicester City centre-back who's obviously, I believe, won the Premier League with Leicester. Do you think, after the first game, do you think he was the right signing for United?
I think I do. Like you said earlier, though, Chelsea were definitely the better team that game. I kind of watched that game. And normally on Sky, I kind of make notes at a game. I'd watch the game and make notes for when I have to come on shows like this, or just generally talk about the Premier League or any games. So at the end of the day, I think Maguire's a good signing. Is 80 million too much? I don't know. We'll have to see. But I mean, after seeing him with England at the World Cup, the Nations League, and everything like that, and him being in the national team, I think he could really be a good signing for United. I was going to say Borough for United. So yes, definitely, I thought he was solid at the back, and a decent win for United indeed against Chelsea at the weekend.
didn't really deserve it, mind. Chelsea were the better team, but hey ho, they weren't clinical enough. And then they get beat by Liverpool, so they've had a tough week. But Frank Lampard's got his team sorted well. Quality manager. Mark Goldbridge. Now, I'm not sure if you watched the United stand.
I sometimes do, yeah.
When Maguire was announced, he said that the reason why it'll be 80 million is probably because he's English and he has a lot of Premier League experience. Now, I agree. I mean, if you look at Aaron Wan-Bissaka, another signing that Manchester United made, he's English, he's from the Premier League, 70 million from Crystal Palace. And if you looked at, if United were going to look for a player like Trent Alexander-Arnold, which of course United would probably never get anyway because Liverpool were never going to sell him. But if you looked for a player of Trent Alexander-Arnold in this transfer window, I think Liverpool would be wanting about, God knows, at least 100-odd million for him. Because he's a Champions League winner and stuff. So I think it's mainly it's all the English players that are more expensive than the foreign players in leagues. So let me think, like Will Bowley plays for Wolves, quality player at Wolves, did well for them last season. And, if you tried to sign him, I think he'd be at the most about 40 million. But the English players from the Premier League seem to be twice the amount of foreign players. If you understand what I mean, Max. Do you think it's just because they're all English players and it's Premier League experience? Is that why the money is so high, or is it just modern football?
Maybe. But it is modern football. At the end of the day, there's lots of foreign players in the Premier League now, and there's lots of foreign players even in the Championship, League One and League Two now. So it's a really multicultural and multinational league, the Premier League, which is brilliant, and what sport should all be about, really. So to see that amount of money, I'd just have to put it down probably to modern football, if I'm honest. The price of modern football.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll have a break from this transfer in a minute. Oh, hello. United set Pogba free, RIP. Pogba's not going to go, I don't think. I don't think he'll go now. Let's stop 1-2 the transfers a minute. Let's talk about another thing I've just remembered. You signed the ex-Boa player Albert Adoma.
Yes.
I think you did, yeah. You signed ex-Boa player Albert Adoma from Aston Villa. I tell you what, you've got a good signing there because he was quality. He was quality for Borough. Absolutely. And he didn't really score that many goals for Aston Villa, but do you think he'll be a goal getter?
I do. Goal getter. I think he'll be a vital part of the first team and Forest and the club itself. His touch isn't the best. That's what I've noticed about him. But then again, as I said, I wasn't going to judge players on the first two games. I'll give him a few more games. But no, he's looked class. Forest's first goal against West Brom, I don't know if you saw it, brilliant link-up play. He kind of flicked it over to Cash. Cash ran down the right and then...
I think I saw your goal.
Thunderbolt into the bottom right corner.
Yeah, because I literally just got into the hotel room in near Cardiff. Because that was when I was in Cardiff, so I saw that goal. I'm just ticking off which ones we've done. But yeah. It was a good goal, I'll admit. We carry on what were you saying there?
I think he could be. He's a skillful player, and hopefully he can be vital for Forest.
Fair enough. Yeah, Albert Adoma's an absolutely quality player. I mean, he was at Borough, and he didn't get that many opportunities at Aston Villa, but he's a guy who you can depend on. He can put the ball into the penalty area, he can create chances, he can score when he wants, and that's what you need from a player of his ability. Next, let's have a look at the next one. This one, I'll admit, when I saw this one, I had to read it about 4 times to actually fully understand it. Joe Cancelo from Juventus has gone to Manchester City for 60 million, and City have got rid of Danilo, who has gone to Juventus for 34.1 mil. It's basically a swap deal involving money, which is quite confusing. João Cancelo, quality player at Juventus. Will he do well at Manchester City? I think he will. I think he'll do well. Do I see him getting start ahead of Kyle Walker? No. I think he'll start.
Agreed.
He'll start a couple of games, but I think Kyle Walker will get the majority of the Premier League games. I think he'll play in somebody. I don't think they're in the Champions League because of this stuff that's going on. People are saying they're in the Champions League. People are saying they aren't. So I don't know which side to go with. So he'll definitely get a lot of starts, but I don't think he'll get as many starts as Kyle Walker will this season. And it's his first season in the Premier League, so you can't judge him till we've seen him play. I'd say at least 5, 6, 10 games. That's if he even gets that many games. 60 million, quite reasonable for a right back who's winning trophies at Juventus, going to a team who who were close to winning the quadruple last season. But I think it's a quality sign for Manchester City. And for Danilo going to Juventus, it's quite a good signing again. It's 2 champion teams. It's champions of Italy, champions of England, swapping players around, and I think he'll do quite well there. They still have Dani Alves, don't they, Juventus, or did he go back to PSG?
Seriously, Daz, you probably know more about me, mate. I'm not good with international football. I mean, I don't focus a lot on the Italian leagues. You'll have to check, but I think he's a good signing. João Cancelo. I think that's how you pronounce his name. No idea. Not great with pronunciations. But like you say, he won't get ahead of Kyle Walker. But then he's got a class manager to work with, Pep Guardiola, and brilliant coaching staff and facilities at City. Probably on level to Juve, probably even better than Juve. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. And hopefully, maybe City will give him a bit of a start or on the bench and bring him on so we can have a look at what he's like.
Fair enough. I've just checked Dani Alves. He's actually playing for Sao Paulo. Apparently, so I was well wrong, and I haven't took much notice of what he's doing. So he's gone as a right back for Juventus in replace of João Cancelo, who I have to say is a big loss for Juventus. He was a quality player for Juventus. He helped them towards their titles and their trophies. But who needs a good right back when you got Cristiano Ronaldo up front smashing the goals in for fun? Glenn Matthews has put, it's time to move Sanchez on. Yeah, he can start off. He's been absolutely trash. Ollie's already said he will try and keep the defence the same this year, so we'll see more of Maguire than Bailey. I think it'd be a shame for Bailey, though, because Bailey's always had a good partnership with Lindelof. I don't think Bailey deserves to be kicked out of the starting 11 all the time just because they brought in a new signing, if you know what I mean. Confusing with the rise to money, because City have paid 60 million, yet they've got 34.1 million back from it. So that's confusing. Like, City have spent and then got money back literally at the same time. So it's a bit of a confusing one. But I mean, Danilo did well at Man City. He didn't get a lot of game time. He obviously played for Brazil in the World Cup. He was in the World Cup squad for Brazil in 2018. And, you know, if we look at Danilo, like, for Man City, he's a very good player. He's 28, getting towards the 30s now. And, you know, I think the fact he's gone to Juventus is it's going to be interesting because I think, he'll struggle there, I think, but I think if I don't know how to judge him. He'll struggle, but I think he'll probably step up to the mark at times and put in the performances required. So it's hard to judge him fully on how he'll do. So because I don't think he has any experience playing at Juventus. He played one International Champions Cup game and didn't score, obviously. If I have a look at his player profile here, of course, you won't be able to see this because I'm currently on the same desktop. But in his career, he's won. Oh, no, I don't want that. All right, where are we up to? He signed a 5-year contract. His contract is until the 30th of June 2024. And this is going. I don't know what's going on here. I'm trying to go onto one thing, it's going onto another thing. Right, we'll forget that. That's really all we can say about Danilo. Not sure how he'll do, but it's hard to judge him on how he'll do until we've actually seen him play exactly the same with Albion Jetty and I wouldn't say Charlie Austin, but who knows as well. Let's go on to the next one. We have about 10 minutes left. That one was confusing, so I'll just stop that one there. The next one is another championship one. From Championship to the Premier League. Harry Wilson played for Derby this season. Not this season, last season now. I keep saying this season. Last season for Derby County under Frank Lampard. Quality player, especially good with his free kicks. And he's now gone. He obviously went back to Liverpool from his loan spell. His loan spell Derby ended. He's come back to Liverpool, and he's now at AFC Bournemouth in the Premier League. And I think that's where he belongs. I think he is a quality player. He's a Premier League quality. I think the way he played in the Championship just shows how good he is. He's so good with the free kicks as well, which is something which will be a positive for Bournemouth as well. 2.5 million loan fee with another £500,000 due in bonuses depending on the performances. So that's reasonable. I'll admit I don't think I've really ever known a transfer have a loan fee for a long while. But Harry Wilson, quality player at Derby, of course, dare I say, Max has had the privilege of watching him against his team. And I've had to watch him against our team before. But, Harry Wilson, I mean, how good is he?
I think he was key for Derby last year. So, I mean, whether he'll do well at his new club, I'm not sure. I mean, I wouldn't say he was excellent against Forest. I think Forest kind of man-marked him, but he was better in the first game he played than when we drew 0-0 with Derby at Pride Park, rather than when we beat them 1-0 at City Ground later on in the season. So he's young, he's experienced, and he certainly could do very well. And I think he's maybe got a bit of experience from the. I'm losing the words like you from the Championship, so he should do well for Bournemouth. Because he's on loan, isn't he? Yeah, he's on loan for Bournemouth, so he should do well in the Premier League.
Fair point. He's 22. He's a Welsh player. Of course, he's on loan from a fellow Premier League team, and of course, he was nominated for the EFL Young Player of the Season, which is something good for him as well. So, he's a quality player. I'd say I I did watch. I think I watched both the East Midland derbies, and it's fair to say that yes, he did. He did play better against you when they were Pride Park than when you beat them 1-0 at the City Ground. And I have to say, I think if if he continues to perform as he has done in the Championship, I think he'll do well at Bournemouth, and I think he'll help them this season. Of course, they've still got the young manager Eddie Howe, who I have to say is one of the calmest managers in the Premier League, and one of the good managers.
And one of the longest serving managers, isn't he? Isn't he the longest?
Oh yes, he's been at Bournemouth for a long while. I think he took them from League One or League Two to the Premier League within recent years, which is incredible. And I think what he's done, he deserves the credit he's been getting. Scotty B's put Dazzer, haven't you done it? Yeah, I'm having a bowl of, I don't know what it is. I think it must be homemade macaroni cheese or something like that. Something along those lines. Very nice. Something along those lines. It's pasta with cheese, sauce and cheese. So I'm guessing it's macaroni cheese is what I tend to have anyway. No White, by the way, thanks for joining the stream. Please do leave a like if you haven't really done so. We have about 4 minutes left of the series. So as to we'll quickly get through. I think will we get through the other ones? Because we've talked a lot about stuff. Let's have a look. So we've done that. There's only really 2 more to get through, so we won't talk in much detail about these 2. We'll just get quick points and stuff, and then there you go. Next one was going to be that one, but I'm going to skip to the bottom of that list and talk about a transfer that actually happened this week regarding the Deutsche Fußballmeisters. Now, if you don't know who they are, then you haven't been watching the Bundesliga, obviously. It is obviously FC Bayern. FC Bayern have obviously introduced the signing of Ivan Perisic on loan from Inter Milan. And a big signing. It's a big signing for Bayern, obviously. Since Leroy Sané injured and he's going to be out for up to 7 months, according to Pep Guardiola. Leroy Sané was Bayern's main priority when it came to signing a player who's good in the left wing or good in left as a left mid. So they brought in Ivan Perisic from Inter, who I have to say one of the best players in the World Cup. Quality player, and he will wear the number 14 shirt for Bayern. However, what I think's daft, he got a yellow card in his final game in Serie A, and that means that he's not allowed to play against Hertha Berlin on Friday because that yellow card still goes on if you move to a different league, because he got 5 yellow cards, and his last game in Serie A was where he got his 5th yellow card. So he has a 1-match suspension, and because he's gone to Bayern, that suspension goes over with him. So he won't be able to play against Hertha Berlin. He'll be featuring in the next Bayern game next Saturday, most likely. I can't remember who Bayern have afterwards, but I think it's daft how these these 1-match suspensions carry over to a different league. But I'm not going to argue. Rules are rules. You have to get on with it. And there you go. Matthew and Max, of course, the special guest on tonight, who has nearly 5,000 subs. He's in the live chat. Go to his channel and let's see if we can get him up to 5,000 subs. He's so close to about 35 away. So it's fair to say he's a better YouTuber than I am any day of the week. I'll admit that. As it shows by the subs rise as well. And we are 1 sub off 700. So it'd be amazing if we can get the 700 sub. So as I say, we're nearly there. We've been nearly there for the last couple of weeks. 2 weeks, should I say? But hopefully we can get there. Sané will end up at Bayern, Daz. I'm thinking that, but I think Bayern have done the right decision to bring in Ivan Perisic now. Of course, since Sane got injured, they've looked on to Perisic, who's an absolutely quality player. And I think, Bayern made the right decision of bringing him in. I'm a bit annoyed that it's only on loan though, but I think it could be a loan that could work wonders. I think he'll do well, and I think he doesn't really have the experience I don't think he has much experience in the Bundesliga, which might not help. But I think he's still got quality in him, and I think he'll do well. Now, on to something else that we were just about to say. We all like you, Daz, says Nick Muller, yes. Thank you very much. And got a couple still in the live chat. Oh, dear. I was going to get to Max there, but the klaxon went. But hard luck to the klaxon, because we're still going to carry on as I was going to do. Have you watched Ivan Perisic a lot? Obviously, the World Cup with Croatia. Are you still there?
Am I? Oh, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I wasn't sure what was going on there.
I was just speaking to myself then.
Oh,
Ivan Perisic is a name you've always heard of, and I think he did excellent with Croatia against England, especially. I think he caused England defence bit of havoc, and obviously he's 30. I think I'm pretty 30-year-old winger. I've got an article up here from the Daily Mail when he signed. So, I mean, he's a Croatia international, and I think he is a bit of a proven goal scorer as well. Because he's joined on loan with a view of 18.5 million transfer next summer. So if he does well for Bayern, then they could certainly get him on a permanent deal. So nevertheless, a good signing for Bayern, and a decent player overall.
And the final thing I'm just going to say, I'm just going to add on to that. I've just remembered he is Croatian, so he'll have a good relationship with Niko Kovac. Because Niko Kovac is Croatian. And if you don't know, he's the Bayern manager. So he's Croatian, and that'll probably help Perisic along the way. He's got someone that he knows.
Indeed.
With obviously, nationality-wise. And I think he'll get on well at Bayern. Will he get starts ahead of Gnabry? Because he's got a lot of competition. He's got Serge Gnabry. He's got Coleman, who can play at left mid as well. Coleman's mainly more of a white mid-man, but he's got competition with at least Serge Gnabry. And obviously Alphonso Davies, who's still currently in competition with him. Will he get started ahead of them? Yes, of course he will. But I do think Serge Gnabry will start tomorrow night. That is it for this series. We didn't get on to the final one, which would have been Firpo to Barcelona for 27.5 million, which I say was not a bad deal for Barcelona. We didn't get onto that one, unfortunately. That is it for this series. I have to say, one of the best transfer series I think I've done. Of course, we've done 4 series, and a lot of them have been good. This one tops it off because we've been using OBS, we've been using Hangouts Live. We've been having to do 2 or 3 uploads of it because we're different because of technology problems, but it happens, doesn't it? And I have to say, the support for this series has been immense, and I have to thank every single person who's been on. Obviously, Max, Blue Tube, Blue Tube from last week, United 2, King Alls. The list is practically endless. Jude, Joe, who else is there? I'm losing track here. Rasha Duara as well. We've also had... I'm forgetting who I've had on now because it's been going on for that long. But oh well, I've lost count, but it's been an amazing series. It's been an honour to do this for you all, and I hope you've really enjoyed the series. The support has been absolutely immense, and the next series will be in January, which is probably only going to be about 4 or 5 episodes at the most, because with the January transfer windows only a short one. So looking forward to the next series. Max, thank you very much for coming on, mate.
No worries. And have a good week. Well, rest of the week and weekend.
Good rest of the week, yes. And of course, best luck with Forest for the rest of the season. Obviously, I'm not sure. Not sure if you're coming up to Teesside for the Borough game or not. But I won't be able to. Well, if you are, then great. But I won't be able to go down to Forest for the away game because that's on a Tuesday night. So, as if I see you in Middlesbrough, then obviously that's great. If not, then obviously best luck for the rest of the season. And of course, we'll keep in touch, obviously. But that is it. Thank you all for your support. As I say, check out Max. He's links in description. He's in the live chat at the minute, saying good stuff. Thanks everyone on that. And let's see if we can get him to 5,000 subscribers tonight. That would be great. And as I say, that's it. We'll see you next series. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.